Can you spot the difference between these two climbs? While the body positions were correct and the sequencing pretty logical in both climbs, the climb on the left seemed a bit off. It took longer to complete, the movements looked stiff, and there was no flow. Flow is one of those intangible factors. It can greatly improve the quality and feel of your climbing, but can't really be described through a singular technique or cue.
In this video, I'm going to highlight the 3 steps you can take to incorporate flow into your climbing. Now, these are just technical cues and shifts in your movement patterns, and you can apply these during your sessions without any prerequisite of needing to first get stronger. Let's get started. The first step to climbing with flow is to remove anything that is unnecessary. This includes all the extra movements that do not help with climb.
Examples of unnecessary movements include excessive matching of the hands, constant swapping of the feet, and a habit of readjusting the grip on handholds. These are all extra moves that create a lot of pause in the climb and cause you to spend a lot more energy than needed. Some techniques we can use to reduce these extra movements include the cross and the step through. Remember to utilize hip rotation for initiating these moves and to allow for a more natural reach. Once we discard what is unnecessary, the end result is a smoother, cleaner climb.
One of the most effective ways to improve the flow in your climbing is to have a coach take a look at your climbs and point out the nuances in your technique. In our Movement for Climbers Academy, we specialize in dissecting your climbing movement. The Academy is a fully online coaching program designed for people who are serious about improving their climbing and want direct access to a trained coach to help guide them in the right direction. If you're interested in joining the MFC Academy, use the link below to apply for a free lesson. I'll give you a preview of my coaching by analyzing one of your climbs and providing some feedback to improve your technique. Looking forward to seeing your videos. The second step to climbing with flow is to master the transition. And we can do this by developing a better sense of how and when to link moves.
One of the best ways for linking moves is to look for any opportunity to apply transitional energy. This is when we use the energy of one movement to naturally transition into the second movement. Anytime we perform a cross where we reach towards or past our midline, our bodies naturally create a bit of momentum. We can use this momentum as extra energy to carry us into the next move. The important thing to remember is not to pause and reset during the cross, but rather to ride the momentum into the next move. The second thing to help you master the transition is to remember that it all starts in the feet. Our feet are responsible both for initiating movements and linking movements. When we set the foot, remember to use the area around the big toe to allow room to pivot between inside edge and outside edge. This pivoting of the feet is what drives the rotation of our hips and smoothly carries our body from one position to the next.
Rhythm in climbing is a very underexplored topic. We may think about the speed at which we climb, but not so much about the beat and the sequencing of our movements.
Here's a very standard rhythm in climbing. Set, set, push, hand. from each initial position, we set the foot, set the other foot, push with our legs, and reach with our hand. Understanding this basic rhythm helps us develop the instinct to advance from one position to the next without overthinking which limb to move. This becomes very useful on longer boulders with higher move counts or on the steadier sections of routes in between cruxes. To help us better develop this rhythm, we can implement one key change in our movement. Become more elastic. Just like in other activities, rhythm is created by alternating between looseness and tension. We don't want to be floppy all the time, nor do we want to be too stiff. When moving from one position to the next, use a bit of momentum by sagging your hips and pushing through the legs. Apply body tension when arriving at a hold to establish your position.
So those were the 3 simple steps you can take to incorporate some flow into your climbing. If you have any tips of your own for climbing with flow, please feel free to share them by commenting below. If you found this video helpful and want to take the next step in improving your climbing, you can apply to the Academy using the link below to schedule a free coaching session with me. Until next time, move better, climb harder.